Hi, good evening to all. Warm welcome to the second Go Getters online interactive session with Elite Cricketer. Elite Cricketer for this session is somebody who is very, very special for a number of reasons. I am delighted to welcome Mr. Sunil Valson on behalf of Go Getters cricket team. Just a small brief. While you go through all his performance and achievement, I think it will take more than an hour. So I think I'll give you a brief on. Let's look at what his achievements are. He was a member of the first Indian Cricket World Cup winning team, the famous 1983 team. So he was a member of the 1983 cricket team. He represented Tamil Nadu, Delhi, and Rajasthan in Ranji Trophy. So he has got the unique thing of.
Not Rajasthan, Nizar, Railways.
I'm sorry, Railways
Yeah.
in Ranji Trophy. Is the first Malayali to represent. First, not only Malayali, first person from Kannur district to be part of the first World Cup winning Indian cricket team. He has played a very pivotal role in helping Railways reach the Ranji Trophy finals in 1987. He was responsible for setting up and managing Delhi Daredevils IPL franchise and continues to serve as Associate Vice President of GMR Sports. Just a few performance which I would like to highlight here is Sunil was the best left-arm fast bowler in India between 1981 to 87. In 1981-82 Ranji Trophy season, he played for Tamil Nadu. He performed extremely well. He claimed 26 wickets in 5 matches. That's on an average 5 wickets every match, which is fantastic. He was the highest wicket taker for Railways in Ranji season 1987 and played a major role in taking Railway team to the finals. He featured in 75 first-class matches during his career and took 212 wickets at an average of 25.35 runs apiece. Very, very strange because those were the days Indian cricket, especially domestic cricket, was all spinners story. So for a fast bowler to take that many wickets, a big achievement. According to me, that's my personal view, Sunil's 2 biggest contribution to Indian cricket are, number 1, along with Kapil and a few other fast bowlers, they laid the foundation of changing the role of fast bowlers in Indian cricket. If I remember, during our school days, Indian Test team used to play the first 1 or 2 overs, the fast bowler used to bowl, and then it was spinner. And sometimes you also see a spinner starting with opening the bowling. So I think these are the ones who changed that. And today, recently I was reading somewhere, according to ICCI ranking, Indian fast bowling team is the best in the world. They are number 1. They are rated number 1. So where has it changed? So I think Sunil, Kapil, Sunil, these fast bowlers have changed the way cricket is played in India. We have seen number of cricket fast bowlers coming after Sunil, like you can see Srinath, Srikanth, then you have Zahir Khan. Now you have a whole lot of battery of fast bowlers. So I think that is one of the biggest contribution Sunil and his team has done. As a member of the World Cup winning Indian team of 1983, he played a role as a member of the team in changing the mindset and the fortune of the Indian cricket and players in a big way. It has changed Indian cricket. I don't think we ever believed we could be world beaters. That mindset has changed after the 1983. Plus, cricket itself has changed. The cricket players have changed. Their fortune has changed. Everything has changed. And I think the credit should go to people like Sunil. So I think we need to understand that there has to be some people who have to work hard to get this moving. Sunil, I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation to participate in Go Getters interactive session to share
My,
your experience and give advice to our aspiring young cricketers what takes it to reach to the level you reached. Thank you, and I will hand over to Vaishak, who will take you through the rest of the evening. Thank you.
oh, thank you, Nisar, for the kind words, and good evening, children.
Thank you, Nizarka. We are blessed. We Go-Getters family are blessed to have the presence of the legend himself, Mr. Sunil Valson, sir, who was and is the best in the business. I don't think that he lacked the same pace he was bowling in 1983. I can still see the aggression in his face. So, as we all know, Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. So, what was the influence of your family during the beginning of your career? Can you please brief about the influence of your family, sir?
See, Bazar, my dad was absolutely crazy about sport. You know, in fact, my father was in the army. Both my brothers were in the army. My sister is married to an army officer. So I was also very keen to join the army, but it was my sport which stopped me from doing it. And he was so passionate. He used to play with me. And those days, children, you're very fortunate with the kind of facilities you get now. Those days, we used to play on matting wickets. And my father used to play against me, we used to, every Sunday, we used to have matches. And he used to come and open the batting. So I used to be scared, you know, on a
Yeah.
matting wicket, the ball used to fly. I was quick at that point in time and wild, because I was still in school. So I was always very scared of bowling at him, And then he once or twice he told me, "You let it go, don't be scared or anything." So he was absolutely so passionate about the sport. He was a very good sportsman himself. Played hockey, and he was actually very instrumental in me pursuing with my passion for sport. And brothers were very helpful. So that's how it all started. My journey started from there, and used to play club cricket, league cricket in Delhi. Some clubs used to invite. I used to stay in a place called Faridabad, which is in Haryana, which is roughly about 40 kilometers, 30, 40 kilometers from Delhi. So I used to come and play league matches there. Some of the clubs wanted me to play. And that's the first exposure I had to league cricket. And he even took me to watch a test match against West Indies. I was a little boy then. And going to Firozshah Kotla was like a dream come true. And those days, test cricket was, packed stadiums, which you don't see now. So it was quite I was absolutely, that was one of the greatest days I had. Gary Sobers, Wes Hall, and all of them were there. And that's what really motivates you. You see them, you watch them, you want to, I mean, it's not that we want to be like them, but that really gives you that, the high and the motivation you need watching them play in, right in front of you. So that is what it is all about, the parents obviously. And it's not that I was a great student. I did reasonably well in my studies, but now as things are, it's a lot different. Parental pressure is always there on the kids. You got to study, and you it's only during the summer break and all you can really get into it. But time management, of course, is very critical for each one of you kids. And at the same time, whatever you're doing, whether it is being on the field or nowadays, it's quite tough times ahead. It's been there for a while now. So how best to utilize it, learn, it's not just about being on the field, but you can always interact with the kids and all that. That's very important. And so that's how my journey started.
Great, sir. Great for our parents to know that how influential the parents are for the younger generation. So let me take you to the 1983 World Cup where history was made, and I think that was the beginning of a new era for the Indian cricket. So despite being the underdogs of the 1983 World Cup, what fire from where did you get the fire to lift the World Cup despite being the underdogs of that World Cup?
You were absolutely wrong there, because we were never underdogs. They had written us off even before we reached there. I was already playing there in England. So that's when I got the message that I've been selected. I called up Kirti, who was playing in for another club nearby. So he said yes, because my agent called me, my player agent in London. He called me up saying, Sunil, you've been selected. And see, I mean, the difference now and then. In 83, nobody, see, I mean, understand, in 1975 World Cup and 1979 World Cup, India only won one match in these two World Cup tournaments. And that is when we beat East Africa. So nobody gave us any chance, and nobody even took us seriously. But irrespective of the fact that just prior to the World Cup, the boys had gone to West Indies, they did extremely well. So they were on a high. But expectations, zero. Nobody even thought of it. I mean, even the experts wrote us off right from the day word go. And more importantly, we played a couple of friendly games. We played against New Zealand, we played against Sri Lanka, then we played against minor counties, a team which is not the main counties. It's the players from the league, they come and play, which was a decent side. And what was surprising was we went and lost that game to them, minor counties. Next day, the entire British media was lambasting us, saying that they're losing to minor counties and they are here to participate in World Cup. So that's the kind of expectations they had. The media, the public there. So expectations were just not there. But fortunately, we just, right from the word go, it was playing a game at a time. You were not targeting anything, just do well, start playing well. And we couldn't have started on a higher note than beating West Indies in the very first game, you know. And that was on 9th of June. And we weren't the only team which created the upset. Zimbabwe went to beat Australia. In fact, when we had you must have seen those pictures when the inaugural day, the lineup happens. All the teams are standing and looking up to the Lord's balcony. And after that, there were interviews being held with the captains and all. So I still remember that statement by the Zimbabwean batsman. He's the Indian origin player, opening batsman called Ali Shah of Zimbabwe. So the interviewer asked him, how do you fancy your chances? He says, yeah, we need to worry about West Indies and Australia. So the interviewer immediately asked, what about India? They're a big solid side. So he says, no, we are not bothered about them. So that's the kind of, the opposition also was taking us very lightly. But we knew that we were far better aside. and it was just getting our act together. And Kapil being Kapil, he was, never die spirit that he has. And once that terrific opening game, there was no looking back. At the same time, we had quite a lot of close shaves, and we lost a couple of games miserably. Against Australia, we lost by 160 odd runs, which was, quite unusual in a one-day international game. You want me to carry on?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, see, after that, the next game was against Zimbabwe. And again, we won comfortably. And we enjoyed that because of their kind of statement they had made. And then Zimbabwe, we played back to back. The format being, you play each team twice. And that's when the second game, that's history in any case. And that is where one realized that terrific innings of Kapil Dev of 175 not out. And that changed the complexion of the tournament for us because, okay, we won the first game. Generally, the media felt that it's, West Indies are slow starters and, they'll get into the groove. But the upset by Zimbabwe by beating Australia, so all equations were going haywire. So we were playing from match to match to survive our ambition was to reach the knockout by then. You played two, you won two. So third game again, we were 5 down for 17 runs. I still remember it was quite a windy uh, morning, sunny to start with, but then the wind started blowing. And we had opted to bat, winning the toss. And a couple of our players, we started walking around the ground. The match started, and very first over, the first wicket went. So one of them ran number 4. Yashpal was there, Sandeep was there. So one after the other, each one left us. We were walking around the ground. So that was, and Kapil was he was taking a shower. So the moment we were 3 down, I rushed to the dressing room and I told him, skipper, get ready. He says, what happened? So see, generally you can make out when a wicket gets out, falls. The kind of crowd response you can make out. So he also padded up, and then it was tough, to come back from that stage. 17 for 5 was, looked really bad. But what an innings it was. And it was not something which, was a slam bang innings. It wasn't. He took his time. And then the intention was somehow we need to play those 60 overs. And that's what was critical. Survive, runs will come. And the ball was guys like Rawson and Kevin Curran. They were absolutely moving the ball around. And conditions did help them. And there was that early dampness and moisture. And then the kind of innings these Kapil and gradually, even if you look at our batting lineup, Kirmani used to come at number 9, Madan at number 8, Roger, so that's the depth we had. So it was just a question of one player staying there, taking charge, the other guy just supporting him, hang in there. And children, that is what is so very critical. You can just play to the gallery, hit one boundary, 6, but after 5 deliveries, you get out and come back. Nobody's going to remember that. Kapil took it upon himself to hang in there at the wicket. He motivated the other players also to just stay in there. And the other players didn't get big runs, okay? I mean, guys like, they got it in their 20s or, just about those kind of runs. Kirmani was finally the last partnership they had. They had it more than 100 odd runs on 40, if I'm not wrong. So that changed the complexion. I think 260 odd we made. And after that, the wicket improved. It's not that Zimbabwe succumbed. We just won by about 31 odd runs, 30 odd runs. But they did run us close. But that victory, and you were down in the dump, and the way the team came out, that was remarkable, absolutely remarkable. But
Great.
then again, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Yeah, no, you had something to say.
Great, sir. It was great from ashes to rising like the phoenix. The Indian team rise to the occasion and became the world champions. It's a great message for our young ones. Great, sir.
See, now, okay, we were on a high immediately after the Zimbabwe game. The media absolutely went berserk. And that's when they said there's some, spine, and it's not just about, that one-off game against West Indies that they won. West Indies in their second game thrashed us. We've got a terrific 100, absolutely lambasted us. But even the game that we lost to Australia, they thrashed us. Trevor Chappell got a brilliant 100. And they got 320 in 60 overs, which was unearned kind of scores those days. Because anything around 250 was a very fighting score. So 320 was, and we succumbed because that was too big a target to chase. But in the return game, the second game we played against Australia, we thrashed them. Again, it was quite a comfortable game for us. So we were surviving from game to game. It was not that we could take it, easy. Okay, we've beaten West Indies once, we lost to them once. Australia, we lost once and beat them again. Zimbabwe, we won both the games. Now, the Australia had the disadvantage of losing to Zimbabwe. So that did change the equation, So they needed to beat at least West Indies once to be on even par, or beat us both the times. But then they struggled in the second game against us. So that's what changed the equation. And I mean, if you look at the Indian team, the composition, we had, as I said, Kirmani coming at number 9 and Madan coming at number 8, So the depth that we had, so we knew that, and most of the time, if you look at it, it was either a Roger Binney or even Madan Lal, who used to chip in those critical, it might be 20 odd runs. And children, that's what is so very critical, which I was trying to drive you to say that Kapil got 175 and we were 17 runs, 5 wickets down. Now you got those 5 players there. Now he's taken the score to 260 odd, remained unbeaten. Syed Kirmani stayed there. I think he was not out on 27 or something of that sort. Now, building up that, you don't have to just go and slam bang and, throw your bat around. But once you get your eye in, and the moment Kapil got into his groove, he spent a lot of time there, took his own time. It's not that he was not even going at a strike rate of 100, which was exceptionally good those days. He was way below that. But once he got his groove. And if you remember, he used to use those Slazenger bats, the mongoose, you know. So that's like a baseball bat.
It's like a
Yeah, and I can't recall a better innings ever played in one day international. Odds being what they are. He bowled brilliantly well, but when the Zimbabweans batted, the conditions were totally different. Totally different. And even when we won the toss and opted to bat, it was a bright sunny day. We didn't expect the weather to change, and English weather really, is very unpredictable. Immediately, that really pushed us back because we won the toss, opted to bat, and when we were bowling, things were absolutely perfect for batting. But fought it out, and each one of our critical. And it's not that, except for that game, if you recall, where he got 175. But in all the other games, I mean, it's always been a Yashpal Sharma being, I mean, the first game, it was that brilliant innings by Yashpal. Then you had Sandeep Patil chipping in. Mohinder Amarnath was always performing both with the bat and the ball. Might not have got 100 or 80 he did get a 80 in one of the games. But they were always chipping in, and that's what made the difference. That, multi-skill these players had. Roger Binney, again, gets those 20-odd runs, picks up 3 wickets, 4 wickets, and that changes the complexion of the game. All-rounders, what Ravi was there. Kirti, again, Ravi also didn't get many games though. Same the case with Kirti, but there were those players who could bowl and bat, and that made the difference. And that's when they all realized that, okay, this team has some bloody fight in them. And once we beat Australia, we knew we'll go through to the knockout stage. And rest is history, I presume. And semi-final, the way we played, we absolutely, and that is something which I always keep talking about. Just before the semi-final lineup, there was a discussion between 3 former cricketers on BBC. That was Ted Dexter and Brian Close and Ray Lingworth, all former captains and very distinguished cricketers at their time. And but look at their, I wouldn't say it was arrogance. It wasn't arrogance, but it was overconfidence. The entire discussion revolved, and this was once the lineup was confirmed. The 4 teams that had qualified. So they knew England was playing India. 3 gentlemen only spoke about the final. So they were taking it for granted that India, okay, they've had a good run, but now it is our game. So that's the kind of overconfidence even the experts had. And that's precisely what happened. I mean, in that game, if you look, the turning point was that spell of 24 overs between Mohinder Amarnath and your Kirti Azad. They conceded about 40-odd runs or 50-odd runs. And that put them under so much of pressure that they started losing wickets. So, I mean, it's not that you might not be picking up wickets, but if you keep a tight leash on the run flow, that built up that pressure on the batsman, even Botham. He couldn't get his act together. And he's in those conditions and at home, he's kind of hitting that he goes in for. It becomes, and England was a good side. The entire playing at home, crowd support. But it's not that we lacked any crowd support. We had a lot of Indian population there coming and cheering us. So that made a lot of difference. And Yashpal, Sandeep, the way they played. And we also did, we were chasing, I think, about 213 is what they got, if I'm not wrong. But we did struggle to get those runs initially. But once Yash and Sandeep got together, they made things look very. Jimmy played a terrific innings. Mohinder Amarnath, 46, he got run out. And Yash played brilliantly for his 61. Sandeep got a quick fire 50 or something. So it was, different guys performing at different times. And more importantly, the team did exceptionally well as a unit. It's all about that. Each one, okay, so-and-so has got out. I got to stick it around. I got to take the team through. That was what was so very critical.
Great, sir. Great message from you, sir. I think we all went back to 1983 from the warm-up matches to the final, lifting the trophy from your words. Great message for our young aspiring fast bowlers as well as every player here. So how tricky things can get and how you can manage to get out of those tricks. So then, as Nizarga mentioned, you have a Kannur connection. So what is your Kannur connection, sir?
Yeah, before that, let me just finish the final bit.
Okay.
So once we won the semi-final, the England dressing room, moment Ian Botham got out, he was so agitated. He came and threw his bat at the dressing room. The glass broke. And finally the county did penalize him. You had to pay for the repairs. But that's how intense it was. And they didn't. And the best part, what we enjoyed after the game, the three gentlemen I spoke about, the distinguished cricketers, Ted Dexter, Close, and Illingworth, we saw them rushing out of the stand. I mean, where they were, and they just got into the car and drove off. So, it was a big disappointment for England because they had taken it for granted that they will sail through, And in the other semi-final, West Indies had a comfortable game against Pakistan. So now I still remember because understand we played our first game on 14th, it was 9th of June. And the final we are playing on 25th June. So understand, I mean, those 6 matches we were playing practically after a day's break. Okay, you play a game. If you're playing for Manchester, play the game, move out the next day early morning, get to the other venue, play the game next day. So it was that tight a schedule. Nowadays, when you're playing World Cup, you have a 4-day, 5-day, 6-day gap, So we didn't have those luxuries those days. So it was strenuous. And children, what is critical is, which I keep harping about always, is the facilities you have. Make the best use of them. We never had even a physio. We had one official who was a manager of the team, Mr. Man Singh, a very seasoned, passionate official from Hyderabad, and who's been with the Indian team for years together, used to run the HCA. Now, he was our manager. He's our manager, guide, brother, father, everything. Everything he looked after. Now, if you have an injury, you have to manage it yourself. You might consult a doctor or something. West Indies team, the English team, Australians, all had physios with them. a trainer, but that concept hadn't come into Indian cricket by then. So we are just managing with a manager. So now the moment we reached the final, we had a 2 day gap, and during the team meeting, I mean, okay, we were on a high, obviously, because we've reached the final when the entire media and the expert had written us off. Now, the skipper was very clear. He only said, this itself is a great achievement. Let's not be under any pressure. We just have to perform and let's give it a good shot. And we all knew that West Indies will be absolutely craving to get back. They are trying to get the third consecutive World Cup in their bag. And they had axe to grind against us because we beat them in the first game. They thrashed us in the next game. So now it's even Stevens as far as the final is concerned. And as luck would have had it, we were caught on again a damp wicket. And you look at their bowling attack, Holding, Garner, Roberts, Marshall. I mean, with that kind of a bowling attack on a wicket like that at Lord's, the ball was really flying around. And full marks to the players. Shrikant started off well. And they were making things very difficult, but somehow managed to get to 183. And that again, we had put those runs on the board, So we got to defend it, and we knew it's going to be very tough. But at the same time, our bowlers, one thing which stood us well right through the World Cup was, even if you look, see, even right from the beginning, most of the teams we managed to bowl them out. Whereas whenever we were chasing a total or anything, we did it at loss of 4 wickets or 6 wickets, So we sailed through. Even West Indies, even Australia, we bowled them out. So the bowlers were doing their bit in the sense, picking up those wickets at the critical time. At the same time, keeping a very tight leash on the run flow. That built up additional pressure on the opposing team. And that's precisely what happened with West Indies. If you notice, they started off, the kids might not be aware of this because they never saw this. But the way they started off, Greenwich went early, and that dismissal is again something which everyone talks about, or the way he let go of Ballu's in-swinger, thinking that it's going to go out, and his off stump was rattled. That set the momentum. But the moment Viv Richard came, he was his normal self, hitting. He thrashed Madan initially. And the way he was going about it looked as if he would finish off the game in maybe 20 overs or something. So that again is something which really, if you look at it from how we pressurize the West Indies by choking them, the run flow. Runs were not leaking. That brilliant catch of Kapil again, that's, engraved in each one of our minds, including the people who've seen it, is nobody could have taken that catch except for Kapil because he was definitely he has one of the safest pair of hands as far as, and absolutely an athlete. The amount of ground he covered. Vivian has overconfidence. Madan again bowled something which was short. He went for a pull kind of a short hook and miscued it, and it Kapil ran, I don't know how many yards, but it was a terrific catch, and he made it look so simple. Any other player would have struggled to even get his hand to the ball. The moment Viv got out, and that's when the pressure built up. And then it became so tight, be it Roger bowled terrifically well, Madan bowled great. So then, if you notice, West Indies also didn't have many players who had, they got their eye in, but then they gave it away. And that's because they were playing too many shots, and they thought 183, no big deal, and even the spectators, I felt, didn't give fancy the Indian team doing well at all. We were bowled out and we didn't even play a full quota of overs. I think must be 54 or 55 overs or something. And that's where it was so very critical that the lower down batsmen hung in there, got those 20 runs, 15 runs, but that built up a partnership. So I think the last three wickets managed to add about 60 odd runs, which was absolutely critical, and that's where that difference came in. And after that, the moment Clive got out, then we knew that we are there. Although sometimes Marshall and all have got runs, we knew that they can, but it was getting tighter. And Jamie bowled terrifically well. Where Dujon Jeffrey was getting his eye in. He was hanging in at one place, at one end. And he just needed someone to just partner him. But he committed the Mohinder bowl those gentle seaming balls. And that's when it was absolutely, outside the off stump, he chased it. And he couldn't believe that he had done that. Finally, I think we won by 30 odd runs. And that, rest is history. Nobody even fancied us. Nobody even gave any of the Indian team any chance. But the way the boys came together, and that really changed the complexion. And Nisar, I agree with Nisar. That was one victory which changed the way the sport is looked upon in India. It was always a passionate sport, but that's when things started improving, and that's made the difference, and that's where no team is great. Now, even if you look at the Indian team now, and you rightly said that it's the fast bowlers, the bowling unit, it's so very critical that, be it the batters, our batsmen are amongst the best in the world. During our time, we had Sunny, G.R. Vishwanath, Mohinder Amarnath, great players, all of them, Yashpal, Sandeep, all of them have done well at different levels. But what is critical is, as a unit, you combine well. We used to brag, pull each other's leg, have fun, go out. And at the same time, when it's on the field, there's only one thing that you need to concentrate. Leave everything, your problems, everything aside. Keep it outside that boundary rope. Then give in not your 100%, give in your 200%. And that's precisely that catch of Kapil, that innings of Kapil, that innings by Yash, the kind of partnership that support the lower order batsmen gave, be it Roger or even your Syed Kirmani or Madan Lal. They all chipped in. It's not whether they got a 50 or thing. Even if they get 15 runs in a total of 183, That's a big ask. And those conditions where balls were flying around. And people did get hit. Balwinder Sandhu got hit on his head because he's stuck in there, hung in there. Same with Srikanth. He got hit on his helmet. But you got to take it with your, chin up. Don't let the opposition know that, okay, you're in discomfort. So that's very critical, and rest is history. And we are proud of our Indian team, the way they are playing, and the amount of talent we have in our country, including Kerala. When I was fortunate to come to this Go Getters Academy, I visited the State Association Academy at Talasheri. You've got phenomenal talent. You've got exceptional talent there. Now it's all about making those. You'll get your chances, and you got to create your chances. Once you get your chance, make it count. There would be times. Okay, now take for instance Sanju Samson, brilliant player. He was with us in Daredevil, phenomenal talent. He has to cool his heel because of earlier it was Dhoni was there, then now Rishabh is there. So you'll get your chance. He's an exceptional bat. Similarly, you have so many other promising youngsters, right? I mean, I recall right from Sachin Baby to Sandeep Warrior, Rohan Prem, exceptional talents. Now, you'll get your chance, but the moment you get those chances, make them count. And there's nothing else. There's no other way you can make it. Keep performing well, work hard, dedication, and see, talent, people keep talking about talent. What is talent? You can't manufacture players. You can produce players who have some natural talent. Now, and talent can't just take you through. It's your own dedication, your commitment, your discipline, and more importantly, how you work out, your training. You might tear the nets in your net sessions, but that's not going to help you. And children, what is important is you sit down with 5 different coaches in different sessions and ask them to analyze you. All 5 will have different versions. But you as a player or a youngster, they'll only tell you what works for you. But final judges, you yourself. We never had any coaches. I had one month session with the great Mustaq Ali while in school. We never even had bowling shoes and all that. We couldn't afford it. At the same time, the school or the clubs never gave us. And but whatever you have your limitation. You might not have the best bat or whatever. But at the same time, if you're dedicated, your training, the amount of hard work that you put in will never go waste. Understand that. You spend 3 hours in the academy or 4 hours, but once you finish, go back home, do something. There are certain other ways you can, just go push yourself beyond that point. At the same time, don't do certain things which you think is not working for you. You are the best judge. Coach will tell you, do this, do that. I had one former cricketer who asked me to change the grip of the ball. Well, it did work in the nets, but it never worked in the match. But I was wise enough to just stick to my own style. In the sense, I had to compromise by speed. He wanted me to put my thumb across the seam, Now, idly speaking, that's a very good way to deliver it. But it never worked for me because I tried that in one of the Euro Trophy games. immediately spent some time with me in the nets. And in the nets, it worked. I tried it in the match. We were playing against West Zone, North Zone against West Zone. And the first over, I got thrashed uh, three boundaries. Immediately, I reverted and I picked up about 3 wickets in the next 2 overs. So you know what works for you. And what is important is, obviously you can't tell your coach that you're wrong. Coach is not wrong. Coach is always guiding you to tell what he thinks is the right way. I had not many other senior cricketers. I was a very good fielder also. Not a great batsman, but I could hang in there. But what is important is, be it your physical training, fitness, can never fail you. And that only you are the best person. Coach will put you through the drill that he has planned for you. What you do beyond that on your own, be it at home, concentrate, work out your own schedules, eat well, sleep early. You got to build on when you talk about your fitness, it's about strength, your endurance. Like I used to finish college, I used to be, as I said, about 30, 40 kilometers from college also. Reach home, change, again get into my shorts, just go out for a run. And those run could be 4, 5 kilometers. This is beyond my normal day on a cricket field where we've done this very thing. But you got to push yourself. But at the same time, don't overdo it also. You know your body well. You know how much it can take. There would be times when you say, no, I can't do it. But that is again backing off. You're backing off. You're looking for excuses. Push yourself. You can't do it in one go. You got to gradually build it. So that is so very important. Your skill will always come good, provided your training part is top notch. You back it up with that. So that's very important. And that's it.
Absolutely right, sir.
Vaishak,
No substitute for hard work and commitment, sir.
Vishak,
So,
Vaishak,
yes, sir.
sorry, if you give me a moment, I forgot to Sunil, I forgot to introduce Vaishak. Vaishak is a local
Yeah,
coach.
he's been in touch with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sir. Absolutely right. There is no substitute for hard work and commitment. It's a great message for our young ones, aspiring cricketers from Kannur. So we'll go to the Kannur connection. So Nizarka mentioned that you have a Kannur connection. So what is your Kannur connection, and what message can you give for our young aspiring cricketers from Kannur to reach the elite level?
Vaisak, why just the Kannur connection? My mother would be very upset. She is from Talisheri, and dad was from Kannur. And my connection was, and which we all used to look forward to. Dad was in the army. So 1 month we used to come during our summer vacation to Kerala. And that used to be the best part of the year, every year, meeting cousins, going out. And I love Kerala as a place. Yeah, the rains can be nasty, but that's the case everywhere. But that was the best part of our childhood. We used to really look forward to have fun, enjoy. And father was from Kannur, so we used to go there. Chandrot was the Tarwar then. And Talisheri, again, my cousins are there. And now I've got friends like Nisar and Sharif there. And it was great meeting up. I've got my cousins there in Kannur also. So it's always great fun coming to Kerala, and you feel really happy when you see these youngsters, these promising youngsters coming up. And now there's no recipe for success. Okay, as I said, I'll come back to the same point. It's on in your own hands. Coach, your trainer, your physio can guide you to certain extent how to look after yourself the right way, the right techniques. Unless you children, you kids are not disciplined. But at the same time, I'm saying have fun. We used to have a lot of fun as kids, eat the junk that we like. But as long as you burn it out on the field, never shy away or shirk away from those hard work and responsibilities. You might, and the competition is tough, but then if you have to survive, if you have to compete with the best of the best, you got to put in that effort. There's no easy way to success. Natural talent can hold you good to an extent. Rest is how you maintain yourself, how you discipline yourself, how you work on your fitness. I mean, you might have, for instance, say somebody has got 70% talent and 30% is his fitness level, you know. And vis-a-vis, if you have somebody who's got 40% talent and 60% is at his best physically, I would opt for that the chap who's more fitter because he's going to work hard on his skills. Now, the talented boy will always have that extra edge, but that extra edge is only going to make a difference if you are physically as good as he is. And that's where it's so very essential to look after your body that nobody else can do. And that's all in your hands. And that depends how serious you are about your workout. Reach out to your physios. If you don't have a physio or a trainer, especially the trainer part of it, there are a lot of people who are available. Buzzer can always connect them with people. Because, see, we never had these luxuries. Australia, West Indies, South Africa were way ahead of us in these aspects. Sorry. We never had any trainer setting us schedules. We used to work out our own schedules. Even in the World Cup, during the World Cup, every day the morning drill or when we had a practice session, one day it would be, say, the captain taking charge. Second day it would be Sunny taking charge. Third day it would be me who would be doing the drill with them, taking them through the drill. And that's how it worked. But the levels that we are seeing now, it's gone beyond. We never had those kind of facilities. So avail the technology that is presently available. You know what are the do's and don'ts. You don't need anything to be written down. You should be mature enough to realize it. Look at Virat Kohli, the kind of the way he works on his fitness, and it's he as a captain, he's ensured that everyone goes through that drill, be it your eating habits. It's good to have indulge once in a while, but that finally has some if you don't eat well, if you don't sleep well, it affects somewhere down the line. So if you have a problem, reach out to your coach, speak to him, spend time with him, and that's very important. I mean, it's good to you and never be ashamed or feel sorry or anything. No, you have to be tough, and tough is only by working out. And it's not just about what you do on the field. Here, that is very important. The space between our eyes, think. That's so very critical. think through, think your game, prepare for a match, work out, sit with your coach. And one thing about batting, I mean, nobody will teach you how to leave a ball. Everyone says come on the front foot, this side on or whatever, elbows out. But all boils down to you should also learn how to leave the balls which are not in your zone. Now, these things only you can analyze yourself. When you go into the nets, you decide that, okay, normal tendency is, you're totally carefree in the nets. You might don't let that time that you spend in the nets go waste. Once you, like I had, when our kind of net sessions are not what we have now. But those days, okay, now Jimmy Amarnath will tell me, Wally, just keep bowling short to me. Because obviously he had that issue with short deliveries. He's a great, gritty batsman. But he was one of the best hookers. The West Indians always thought that he was the greatest player. It's not, the way he handled those short balls, came with a broken jaw. And he used to work that out in the nets. And I also used to test him, and sometimes I used to tell him, okay, I'm going to bowl a few deliveries with a, overstepping by about an yard. So that, okay, he gets that extra pace, So you got to, when he takes those blows, and these are the times when, players used to put a thigh pad had already come, but no helmets, no elbow guards, no chest pads. So it is, you need to be gritty, and at the same time, work your time management should be such. You're going to the nets, okay, I'm not going to get out. If it is 10 minutes that I'm going to spend, 15 minutes, I'm not going to play a loose shot. Those standards you can set for yourself. The coach, you might hit a lofted shot, terrific shot, maybe good, but it might finally end up on the deep mid on catching. So you might not realize. So you have to set those benchmarks for yourself. You're young, I know. But if you don't set those benchmarks for yourself, coach is looking after the rest of the boys also, even if there are 4 coaches. But you got to excel yourself. He'll just guide you, tell you these are the aspects that you need to concentrate on. These are the weaknesses you need to work on. But you have to, and in this day and age, you have so much of literature available, videos available. Think, eat, drink, and sleep cricket if you're passionate.
Very deep, sir. Very deep and absolutely brilliant words from the legend himself. So, sir, we have got some of our players eagerly waiting with the questions. So,
Yeah.
First of all, I would invite Parthiv Manoj to please unmute yourself and ask your question to Sunil sir. Parthiv Manoj, you here? Parthiv Manoj, Gadish bhai, can you please unmute?
He is here, yes, yeah, he is here.
Yeah, Parthiv, you can ask now.
Sir,
Hi, Parthiv.
part of history, that is World Cup in the 1983. Tell us your experience in the World Cup campaign.
So I think that was a repetitive question.
Parthiv, experience I have already mentioned about, but I'll tell you one thing that, as I said, now when the Indian team goes out to play or participate in the World Cup, the expectations are so high. Even before the team leaves, they expect the trophy to be, won by India. So there's that added pressure on the players, and that's the point I was harping on. But when you come back to my experiences, the team's experience, it couldn't have been. We played from match to match, and we were surviving from game to game, and that's why the team composition, there was not much of a change in the composition. I never got that break. I was going to get a game against Australia, and because Roger was unfit. But it was so critical each game because you had to qualify for the knockout in the first 6 games, and the equations were changing. And once we qualified, there was, it's not that the players were not under pressure. They were. I mean, even if you, but it's not because of expectations back home. No, certainly not. But the players had decided that we wanted to prove a point. Captain was absolutely confident. We had those big stars, and it was like a family. We used to pull each other's leg. We had fun. We went out for parties. Parties means the Indian families. They used to call us home, and all that you crave for is a good meal, Indian meal when it's on a long tour. So the support was great there, and we as a team, and my roommate was Kirti. Earlier it was Roger. So Roger was a very I've known him over the years. But Kirti is someone we studied together in college. Opposite, we were arch rivals at college. But we've played, we came into the scene together. And so it was all fun and games, but at the same time, when it came to business, there was no compromise. We were as a unit. And once we won the finals, entire city of London was on the street, especially the Indians living there. They all the shops, they kept it open. They were feeding people. They opened up their shops. Anybody could go and eat and drink. And it seemed that entire Indian population was in the hotel there. So it was a great experience, and we are still living it, and we meet off and on. We met about a couple of months back before the lockdown. And it was back to old times. And on 25th of June, when we won the final, so we are very active on WhatsApp group. And thankfully, earlier, we didn't even have mobile phones those days. And even, like I remember the wives had left, some of the wives who were traveling with the team. When they realized we had struggled to get to 183, some were disappointed, some had to go back. But they didn't realize how things were going to change. So it was a wonderful experience. The Indians population, the cricket lovers there, they were absolutely, I think that was a high point, not only for them, but the entire country here, because that really did change the complexion of the game, the way it is looked at, not only as a sport, but even for the boards. I mean, that's where it started getting totally commercialized. What do you do? Can you hear?
Yes,
Parthiv,
sir.
Hello.
Parthiv, speak up.
Yes,
Parthiv,
sir.
how old are you?
Sir, 13.
And what do you do? Are you a
Sir,
batsman or a bowler?
sir, I am a all-rounder.
All-rounder. Very good. And how much time do you spend on the ground? Rufiaz, good quality time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever I come there next time, I'll see. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Take care, son.
Vaishak, you're on mute.
Ishak, you're on mute.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Parthiv. Then we have one of our hardworking, committed fast bowler, Abhiraj. So, Abhiraj, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
So my question, what fitness regime did you follow? Did you follow any specific routines before bowling?
Come again, I didn't hear you.
So what fitness regime did you follow? Did you follow any specific routines before bowling?
See, Abhiraj, that's what I say. The way the game has evolved. You know, like as I said, we never had any coaches. Okay, we used to get tips from some senior cricketers, like the way I'm sharing things with you. We used to, I mean, like my skipper from for my state was Bishan Singh Bedi. You've heard about him?
No, sir.
No, former India captain. He's
Yes.
the best left arm spinner. So he was a great, now if you look at Bishan as a player, great bowler, great cricketer, great motivator. I haven't come across a greater motivator. He was one person who will just make you feel that you're the best. And that's because the way he used to encourage you. So he had only one, and he was not the fittest guy on the field, okay? But he used to ensure that the entire team went through a very strict fitness schedule. And that is only, and I've seen, or even I had that experience, where players used to break down. You know, there are times when he used to, if the hotel is, say, 3 kilometers from the ground on a match day, he'll say, okay, guys, let's run to the ground. Now, on a match day, maybe not the best solution, but then that's the skipper. You can't question him. Okay. So those are the ways we used to do. But yes, we did. I've always been very lucky with my fitness levels because I was a brat in school. In the sense, I used to play every sport and I used to just love playing, okay, be it football, whatever, hockey, football, any sport I used to go and play. So my fitness level, as it is, was very high, and that only helped me to, now when you ask a trainer now, he'll start working on your legs, your shoulders. We used to do it ourselves. We never used to go to the gym and all that. Never. And gym was the worst thing those days, because you end up being a bodybuilder, build your body. I've known so many cases, good bowlers who tried to build up their upper body. And in the process, it affected their bowling. So you need to know. So that's why it's so very essential. But at the same time, that ability that you have, and you should reach out to your trainer, work out those schedules. A bowler's schedule is going to be a lot different from the spinners or fast bowlers. Okay, there are certain parts of the body which you need to develop more. Your legs, strong legs, shoulder. If you're using the shoulder, depends. Are you a seam bowler?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then there are certain aspects which you should be careful about. But the best way is I could have guided you if I'd seen you bowling in the nets. But what is important is reach out, work on those schedules, and whatever the schedules are given by your coach or the trainer, stick to it, and try to push yourself, set your own benchmarks. Now, uh, you said you are 13, right?
Yes, I am
How
also
old?
30. 13 years.
How old are
13
you?
years. 13
13
years.
years. Huh? Yeah. Sorry. Your run up, how best to build that momentum, you know. Those are the things which, but you're still young. You don't have to just go over the top on this. These things can be done very gradually. You can't just within 1 month. You can. It's something There are. Has the academy started? Have you guys started, or it's still
No. We are not functional now.
non-functional? Okay, and there are no hope as of now. That's the case
Yeah, cases are
countrywide.
getting.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
are you boys working on your fitness and all
Yeah,
that?
they are working on the fitness. We are providing them with weekly schedules, and they are executing those workouts, and they are posting in the WhatsApp group, and we are having weekly Zoom meetings.
Okay, very good. That is what is required, and that makes that difference also. And tendency boys, children is especially. I mean, it happens with best of us. When you're at home, you do get a little lazy, and the parents will always want to feed you to the. So those, because you're not burning your calories, no matter whatever. So you just eat well and eat the right thing also. So I would just advise you that. And I need to see you bowling, then I can be more specific which area you need to work on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
But general fitness, there's no, questions about that. That straight away, you can't compromise on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhiraj. And next we have Imran, one of the passionate father and son. His father Ashraf is also very passionate about the game, the hard work and commitment they put on the game.
Imran and who?
Imran, can you please ask your question?
Hi, sir.
Hi, Imran.
So my question is comparison between the modern day fitness culture and that of your days.
I've already spoken about it. See, have you seen the way the game was played earlier?
I
How old
seen
are you, Imran?
highlights.
Highlights you've seen. Okay,
Yes.
you just need three. Have you seen the World Cup matches of those days in the sense of any of the videos?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Can you recall any three aspects what has really changed the game from those days and now? No.
No.
See, earlier the one day international used to be 60 overs, played with red ball.
Yes.
Now what is it?
White balls.
White balls and
15 hours.
50 overs. Yes. And there's one aspect which I'm sure you know, but you can't recall it because you're used to seeing that only. Colored clothing. Those days it used to be red ball means white clothing. So the game has, there's no comparison. It's kind of the way the bats. You just go to a shop and buy a bat now and straight away go and use in the nets. Our times we never had those luxuries. If you buy a bat, you've got to season it. You'll buy a couple of bats, you'll keep seasoning it, use linseed oil, keep tapping it. You break it in, So it's not that you can just buy and straight away go and play. No, you can't. Similarly, the gear, the pads, the gloves, earlier they used to have batting gloves with rubber spikes on top, okay, as protection, and made out of cloth, not leather, pads. And skill wise, definitely it's changed because the facilities are better, far superior. Now, like Nisa did mention about today, the Indian fast bowler are the best in the world, without doubt. Absolutely. I mean, and it's not that one. There's Jasprit Bumrah, there's Mohammad Shami, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, one of the real swing bowlers that you are. Now, and batting, still amongst the best, be it Virat, Sachin, Rahul, all of them, they've been up there in the top. So it's all about their dedication, hard work. It's not that we didn't have dedication and hard work. Our times were different. You can never compare a batsman of that era with this era. You can't. Similarly for the bowlers. But at the same time, the game evolves. I mean, it happens not just in India, but all over. West Indians, look at the kind of cricketers they produced. They are into a slum. That's because, okay, the kids are now not that keen on cricket. More kids are going into basketball and baseball and all that stuff. But at the same time, the skill, it's the same. Earlier, your coach will never let you play those cross-batted shots. Like when we talked about, I even mentioned about how the coach will tell you what is right and wrong. But you as a player will know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Now take for instance, Jasprit Bumrah. If you look at his action, there's nothing right about his action, but that's his natural action. If you mess around with his action, he'll lose that pace. And his run-up is also short. It's not that he steams it. The great fast bowlers, Dennis Lilly, Jeff Thompson, Michael Holding, look at their run-ups, rhythmic, smooth, but they worked on it. Even Lilly was wild when he came into international cricket. But he worked on it. He reached out to people who could help him out. So similarly, now technology that is available, they film you, they make you sit down. It's become so easier. We never, all that the mere fact that even the World Cup footages are not fully available, all the matches, is a statement of what kind of support system we had. There was never any backup. No trainers to help you, no physio to work on your rehab or injury management. Even the cooling down process and all, we never went through those drills. It's become far more elaborate, but at the same time, it's a change for good. And talent-wise, absolutely, there's no dearth of talent in our country. Not only with the national team, but even at the junior level. You go to any small town, any, academy or, there's phenomenal, and all of them have come through this channel. Even the junior cricket is far better organized now than what it used to be. In a season, we used to play about 15 matches, 6, 7 Ranji Trophy matches, 8 matches in a season. If you reach the finals, then you might have a Dilip Trophy, 2 games, then Irani Trophy if you're fortunate, then the other trophy. That's it for the season. So now the opportunities are there, and there are scouts moving around. As I said, even we've gone and tracked players. There are a lot of these Shreyas Iyer and all have come through those processes. People watching them, reaching out and keeping tab on these cricketers. So, but that can happen only if you're willing to work hard. You're willing to not only enhance your skill, the technology that is there, you can, sky's the limit for you guys. So take it with all, but at the same time, have your fun. You can't stop being a child or kid. It's not just don't eat, drink and all. I've mentioned that earlier, cricket. But at the same time, have that fun, unwind yourself. There are certain activities, play some other sport during the breaks. Those things help, you know. So that's the only way I see it. And even now, I don't know, Nisar, you're there?
Yeah, yeah,
You remember Chetan Chauhan?
yeah, yeah,
Now, do you recall his stance?
yeah, yeah,
But look at the way, and the grip.
yeah,
Now, if he goes to any of the coaches, they would have reprimanded him.
yeah,
But look at, Chetan Chauhan was, a legend by himself.
yeah,
The amount of runs he used to, he came into this team with sheer brilliance.
yeah,
The tons of runs he scored.
yeah.
But he knew that that worked for him.
Mm.
Even in Australia, when with that kind of a grip, he was so very good at his cuts, Now that was something which, that's what I was trying to tell Imran,
Yeah,
that, there are times when you know that irrespective what the coaches might tell you, coaches are only going to tell you this is right and this is what should work or this is where you should concentrate. But you know that it's not working. He might tell you 10 things,
yeah,
but there might be 6 things that works for you. There are 2 things you feel you're better. So you can always revert to your own. So that judgment the children have to make, the kids have to make. Not at your age because you are very young, Imran. But I'm not saying the coaches are wrong. They mean well. They'll guide you. But there are certain things your body knows whether it's accepting the changes that. See, even if you change the way you take your strides, all of a sudden you'll find that you might be going off rhythm because of some changes. Now, even if you look at Bumrah, he just walks, into his run up straight away. He just walks and then builds it up. Now, if somebody tells him, no, this is not right, or you have to come from this angle, it's not going to work for him. Your arm is, you've got to get your arm in a particular position. It's not going to work for him.
mm.
So it's very important. Work on those issues, and you know what is right for you. Got it, Imran?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you,
Take care,
Imran.
Be safe.
Thank you, Imran. Then we have Akul with this question. Akul, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Akul.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you didn't get a game even when you were on the peak firing form. What message will you pass for this young generation to be team player?
See, everyone is a team player. I didn't get a game because I told you the circumstances. We were surviving from game to game.
Yes,
I played in the warm-up matches before the World Cup. We played 3 matches. I played in 2 of them. I didn't play the one which we lost,
yes.
minor counties, and I did well. But that was never a factor. But as I said, we had a team that was full of all-rounders. They didn't want to change around much with the playing 11. The only option was whether a spinner comes in or all the fast bowlers play. And we had that luxury, like Roger, Madan, Jimmy who could bowl. Even Sandeep used to roll his arm. And Balwinder Singh, Sandhu. So it never, there are times, I was wanting to get onto the field to play, But I understood the scenario, and it's not that I was feeling uneasy or uncomfortable, not at all. And the players also, in fact, Kapil used to be, he used to come and tell me, Ki, I hope you're okay. I said, absolutely. And as I said, I was supposed to play one of the games because Roger had an injury, but on the day of the game, he did a fitness test and he felt comfortable, and he went on to play. So I don't think so. It should change. Disappointments will always be there, respective, but that doesn't make much of a change in your outlook or attitude. As a team, I mean, you have your. I could pull anyone's leg and get dragged also. So that's fun and games. What was important was the team spirit. We had our, once the game is over, go and have. We used to, the team, most of the players used to go out in groups and have fun, go out for dinner together. So that helps you unwind also. If you stay cooped up, if you keep thinking, why I'm not getting a break, it doesn't take you any far. It will only add to your, you'll get miserable. At the same time, it will have a effect on the team also, and even in a dressing room, if the atmosphere is great. See, there are certain times when you find, and there was no backbiting or anything, nothing of that sort. If somebody did well, you should feel good genuinely. It's not that, oh, if he doesn't do well, I'll get him. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to wait your chance. If it comes through, it's great. And at the same time, I mean, if you look at the way, even now there are so many opportunities to showcase your talent. Be it the domestic cricket, there's so many tournaments. If you're playing in the IPL is a boon for the youngsters, especially the players who haven't got recognition. A lot of them have come into recognition only through performing in IPL. It prepares you. So there's no shortcuts here. So team building is something which is, that has to be, the seniors have a major role in that. That's for sure. But the juniors also, you have to feel that it's your team. You belong to the team. And each one that brotherhood or whatever, competition is off the field. But when you're playing as a unit, there's no other. Tomorrow, if I'm playing a game against Bombay, I might, we might exchange words and, on the field. But that doesn't affect your personal equation. So it was, the team as a unit was, I think it was one of the greatest times we've ever had. And especially when we won, there was no two ways about it. Anything else, guys?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Akul. And we have Adil to ask his question. Adil, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Adil and Dia.
Good evening, sir.
Who's that, Adil?
I am here. Sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. My question is that what made you choose cricket?
See, as I said, I didn't get your name, beta.
Sir, Dia Danu and Adil Danu.
Acha, Dia and Adil, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you do, Dia?
Sir, I am all-rounder.
Very good. What, the academy is full of all-rounders, huh? Very good. See, as when I was of your age or whatever, how old are you, beta?
I am 12 years old.
12 years. So I'm sure you're playing other games at school or no? You do?
No, sir.
No, only cricket. School, you don't play any other games?
No, sir.
Acha, you don't have a games class at times?
Yes, sir. But I didn't join.
What do you do during your games period?
Sometimes our games teacher will conduct some class.
Uh-huh. So all theory.
Uh,
Okay. So cricket I just picked up only because I was always passionate about cricket. I used to play all the other games, and it's only gradually then I realized that okay, this is the sport I want to do or play.
okay.
There are times when I used to, be fairly good at tennis also, but tennis and all needs a little bit because cricket is the easiest to play. You just go to any ground and do tennis and all. You need those courts and availabilities. So those kind of things was always a hindrance. So that's how I started. And once I started getting that, getting into the groove or got a little older when I was in class 8 and 9, that's when I realized that this is the one sport I need to pursue. So that's how it started. And cricket was always popular.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Dia. Then
Thank
we
you.
have Aditya S. Nair. He's an all-rounder. He's a good genuine fast bowler and a good batsman. Aditya S. Nair, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Aditya.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Aditya.
My
How old
question-
are you? You're older.
I'm 15-year-old.
Good.
My question is, what should I do if I get initial breakthrough in the first spell and coming for second spell?
What should you do? What do you do now? What are you doing otherwise?
Bowling like same.
No, so when the ball is old, what do you do? Are you a fast bowler?
Yes, sir.
So right arm?
Yeah.
So you bowl with the new ball, right?
Yes, sir.
Does the ball swing?
Yes, in swing.
In swing.
Yes.
So you just bowl the in swingers?
Yes, sir.
Now with the old ball, what do you do when you're
Slow
bowling with the old ball?
cutters.
How do you bowl the cutters?
Just twisting my hand.
See, the only difference is when you practicing, what do you do? Do you bowl with a new ball only or
So both.
both?
Yes.
So the best way to do is always in the nets when you start bowling or whatever, take the worst ball possible and bowl with that. The problem with most of the bowlers, even those days, is they don't want to bowl with a worn out ball. Okay. There's so many things you have to build up. Your variation is very important. That's what you need to work on. There are, like besides using the crease, I mean, do you keep using the popping crease? You're there, Adil?
Aditya.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Do you use the crease?
Yes.
Different angles? Do you use the crease?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Bowl closer to the wicket, away from the wicket, edge of the crease?
Yes.
You do that?
Yes.
See, I mean, especially with the toughest thing is to bowl with the old ball. These are skills that you'll gradually learn, even the shine, how to use that shine on which side, especially when you're bowling old ball, you know. Generally, I mean, Mazhar, do you bowl with the white balls or the red balls there in the academy?
Red balls, red balls. We have red balls. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, you got, these are skills which you learn later. You know, you're still too young for that, but you will gradually learn these. Skill is what I used to do generally is with the old ball, you know, there are so many other variations. If you're just a one-dimensional bowler, and especially when you're an in-swinger, and let me tell you, any batsman is very uncomfortable, be it any Indian player. Just an in-swinger bowler will always create a problem. But you need to have those variations, okay? So my stock ball used to be the in-swinger also. You know, I couldn't bowl a away swinger. Generally, the left-arm bowlers used to angle it across, okay? Sometimes it does swing away, but we used to use the deck a lot. You know, I used to, especially with the old ball, cross seam. That is one aspect of it. Change your angle of delivery, slant it through, go over the wicket or around the wicket at times. When you know that a batsman is set, you're just trying to change, make things different for him. I mean, even with a cross seam, you wouldn't know what would happen. Like when we have, it depends where the impact is. If the deck hits the ground at a particular point, it could cut the way it does. So these are the aspects you need to, and especially in the nets, the easiest thing is to bowl with a new ball. But at the same time, if you waste that new ball, if you don't get your line and length right, and in any case, in a match scenario, you'll have those maximum spell is 3 overs, 4 overs once you're playing into normal format. So if you don't make use of it effectively, you'll struggle. So what is critical from your point of view is start using, in fact, Mazhar, you should make them bowl a lot with the old ball. You know, don't just give them the new ball. You know, because the easiest thing for any bowler, the moment you start bowling with the old ball for a couple of, you know, sessions, how many batsmen do you bowl at in a net session? How many batsmen do you bowl to?
At a time?
3 pairs, two pairs or 3 pairs he will bowl.
And that is about what, 10 minutes per batsman?
10 minutes per batsman.
10 minutes, no? Okay, so basically you're doing half an hour.
Yeah.
And do you change because there are other bowlers who need to bowl or just because you're tired?
We have other bowlers and we'll swap in between. We'll be functioning two nets at a time. We'll be swapping.
Okay. So, see, that is where the three batsmen is less puzzle. You know, you need to bowl more. And if you need to hone those skills, you'll have to have a longer stretch. And that, even when you feel tired, push yourself. You know, during our net sessions, okay, I mean, that's only because we were playing at a different level at that stage. But I used to insist on bowling at almost everyone. In fact, even the tailenders at times used to say, please bowl to us, because they want somebody quicker, you know. So I never minded that, you know, and that gives you a chance to try out your various variations. You know, that will help you. You try different grapes. If you think it's working for you, you know, sometimes even bowl a leg break, you know, but you got to conceal the ball well, you know.
Yes, sir.
So those kind of things, you know, you got to keep working, and that's, you'll realize as you play more. How many matches do they play, Mazhar?
Very less matches here.
That's,
We'll play
yeah.
comparatively to the last years. We are playing more matches, but we lack a ground here. That is the main problem we play. play almost 25 to 30 matches.
They should, because net scenario and do you have open nets?
No, we lack a facility. We have only close net.
But you have a main square there, ground there. That's not allowed?
No, this academy is, sir, this academy is functioning in Kannur. You've been there?
Acha, you're talking about the Kannur one, yeah.
Kannur Academy. We have the ground, but the problem is that most of the time there will be having the carnival.
Yeah, that's right. That ground might not suffice.
And we have the only ground which is in Talasheri. The 5 division matches, inter-district, inter-zone, state team camps, state team matches. So the ground will be mostly occupied. Still, we managed to play 25 to 30 exclusive academy matches. Apart from that,
that's good. That's good. Academy matches are good,
Yeah.
Because that's where they will, be really tested,
Yes.
They build up a different kind of a confidence.
Yes.
Because bowling into the nets, even for a bowler, it's not the right atmosphere. It's good to hone your skills, but real match scenario is only when you're bowling the full 22 yards.
Correct, sir.
Yeah. So work on those lines, young man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Take care,
Aditya.
son.
Then we have Arita, our younger girl, to ask you a question. Arita, are you here? I think she has left. Then
Not a
we'll
problem.
move on to Tirtha. She's a fast bowler. She's a genuine fast bowler. She's a young fast bowler from our side. So Tirtha, unmute yourself. Tirtha. Yadish bhai?
Sir.
Hi, Tirtha.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Beche? How old are you?
11.
11. Okay. What do you do?
I do all-rounder.
All-rounder. What mazar, you're producing all-rounders only. Huh? Very good. Full of all-rounders.
1983 World Cup team.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, tell me, Bete.
Sir, you were the best left-arm fast bowler available in 1981 to 87. Why did you choose left-arm?
See, left arm again, it was I was naturally a left-hander. Okay. Even I used to write or anything. Left armers have an advantage. And it's not that, so if I had to try bowling as a right-hander, because there are a lot of players who do that. They realize, okay, because if you might not have heard of Lala Amarnath. His eldest son is again someone who's played for India, Surinder Amarnath. He's Mohinder Amarnath's brother, elder brother. He was a right-hander, but father made him change to a left-hander, realizing that it will make things easier for him. And he was a brilliant left-hander. It's not that he was bad at it. No, he was a brilliant batsman. But I stuck to my natural, what was natural to me as a left-armer. And I won't say that Nisar was being very kind, saying that as a great left-arm bowler. There are many who had come and gone. And it's something which came naturally to me. So I didn't have to work or, when you try and change your things, it becomes a little bit of a problem to even get into the normal groove, So I never felt the need to change it. And that also always worked as a plus point for you. Now there are times when you have two left-armers playing also. Zahir was a great left-arm bowler, and you had RP and Ashish Nehra. So there's no dearth of left-handers and left-armers, and they have that advantage also. Gives you a total different angle, and even the batsmen at times, they're far more comfortable against a right-hander. But the moment that angle changes, makes a world of difference to them. So that's why. So what's your training schedule? What are you doing these days?
Morning 100 bowls, then
Ah,
evening 1 hour practice.
1 hour practice. Where? So who
Uh,
bowls
in,
at you?
in my home itself.
Somebody bowls at you in the
Yes,
balcony
my
or something?
father bowls at me.
He's a good bowler.
Yes.
Good. Take care, bete. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
You take care. Be safe.
Thank you, Tirtha. Thank you. Then
Thank
we
you, sir.
have a little Shinwon here. He's Aromal. So he's a 10-year-old boy. So I request Aromal to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, sir.
Hi, bache.
Good evening.
Aromal. Good evening. How are you?
I am fine.
Good.
How are you?
I'm great. Talking to youngster like you, I feel great.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Tell me, what do you do, Anumal?
Sir, when you were a young cricketer, what did you do to prepare and excel at the elite level?
See, when you do something, when you're passionate about something, you don't have to do anything differently. You just do. How old are you, beta?
I am 10 years old.
10 years. So you should enjoy what you're doing. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to, if the coach tells you to take 5 rounds of the ground, tell him, no, I can't. I don't like running 5 rounds. Okay? Because this is also, I must share this example. I had gone to one of the academies. I saw a very senior cricketer putting them through. These are young little boys, kids, So they are doing about jogging the cricket ground 4 rounds. Okay. So I said, what are you making them do? This is just making them enjoy. I said, do you think I said they'll stop coming to the ground if you make them do this every day? He says, no, it will be good now. They'll get used to it. I said, no, you're discouraging those kids because kids of these age should be just given and let loose. Enjoy yourself, be it you want to play football, whatever. You should enjoy what you're doing, son. You don't have to follow any drills. Just enjoy, make the best use of it, have fun. The coaches will help you as you start doing well in the sense you're serious about it. You start grasping the finer points of the game. So you just have to enjoy. I used to just enjoy, be it cricket or football or soccer or anything, soccer, table tennis, whatever. Have fun, enjoy yourself, work on your fitness, do that little bit. You don't have to take 4 rounds or 2 rounds or whatever. Whatever you do, have fun, enjoy yourself, and gradually you will learn the finer points of the game.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Aromal. So that's all with the questions from the players' part. So it was indeed a great opportunity for me as a coach for Go-Getters Cricket Academy to interact with such a person like Sunil sir. So we will be blessed if we have your presence in real to our academy in the near future. So then I would like to invite Imran to deliver the vote of thanks.
Don't get so formal, huh? It was a pleasure talking and wonderful sharing thoughts with the kids and children. You should be careful. These are tough times, and these are times when nobody could even imagine we would have had to go through such times. But at the same time, what is important is keep yourself occupied, be safe, and make the best use of the time in the sense that you're at home. Even if you're not getting onto the field, there are so many other things where you can enhance your knowledge. So many videos and films are available. make the best use of it, follow close interaction with your coaches. I'm sure those will help you, and work uh, hard on these aspects. And God bless you all. And whenever I am in anywhere close to Kerala also, I'll certainly drop by and spend some time with the kids. Take care.
Okay, sir. Sir, we have a question from Prashant, sir. So
Yeah.
I would like to request Prashant, sir, to ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry,
Prashant.
I was being a bit greedy. I know it's questions for the kids, but
no, not at all. Not at
okay.
all. We're all
I mean,
friends.
I was reading through. I think in preparation for this meeting, I was just reading through a bit of a profile and going through it. And I know, like, we were part of, I think, GMR Sports, and you were handling a project where you were identifying talents as well as making sure, I think, they are groomed into future cricketers as part of your engagement with the Delhi Daredevils. So I just want to know, like, what was the program you had put in place? Did you find any real talent? And what was the program to nurture them to be future cricketers for the country?
See, Prashant, understand one thing. When I was the first employee of GMR Sports. When they won the franchise, when GMR won the franchise for Delhi, for IPL, we had basically 2 months left before the IPL. Even the IPL were a little worried because Delhi didn't have floodlights, right? They won the franchise in January 2008, and the tournament was starting in March end. So no floodlights, nothing. So the facilities wise, that's why I keep harping on the same point. Delhi didn't have any facilities, floodlight facilities. Even the playing facilities was pretty shabby at that point in time. So my first responsibility there was as a cricket operation, the playing facilities. So we got to act together. Even BCCI was very worried because they wanted to shift the matches, Delhi matches to Chandigarh. And then, so that is how I started my innings with GMR. Then I gradually moved into, it started with cricket operations. Then I started managing the team in the sense I never became the part of the strategic thinking for the team, but we used to track these players, be it in Delhi. I mean, there are obtained number of players who not only in Delhi, like Rishabh and all are part of that system only. I have seen him playing. In fact, when he got selected for Delhi as an under-19 player, that year I had very reluctantly accepted the role of a Delhi selector, junior selector. And I wasn't too keen, but then certain senior officials reached out to me. They wanted me to be involved. So, I mean, IPL has been a blessing for these youngsters. But at the same time, if you don't keep your bearings, head over your shoulder, and you're not grounded, you can lose your way very fast. Because obviously, I mean, it's a double-edged sword there, If you're that discipline and everything, if you don't follow it carefully, you can fall by the wayside in the sense, one innings and you're a great superstar. And that can be your downfall also. You might think that you've arrived, you've learned, you've reached, but that's not the goal you are looking for. Still, finally, it is playing for the country or being selected for the country. That's your ultimate goal. So these youngsters, be it Shreyas Iyer, we've heard about him even before he played Ranji. Same with Rishabh, Prithvi Shaw. All these are Abhishek Sharma. The amount of talent we have, there's no dearth of talent. It's all about how they finally handle that big break. Chances will come, and we had our scouts. We had divided, like even in Kerala. We called quite a few players from Kerala, even your keeper, opening batsman, Vishnu Vinod,
Vishnu
or
Vinod.
what?
Yeah.
Vishnu Vinod, talented, but then he's competing with some others. Basil, we called him. Again, we were very impressed with him. But then again, we had to see as to how does he fit in into the scheme of things. You just don't add up. Earlier, I mean, if you remember even IPL, when there were certain catchment areas each franchise had. We had Haryana, UP, and uh, Delhi. Delhi had that as the catchment areas. So we could sign any number of players. But finally, BCCI also surprisingly, because what happened in that year, India won the Under 19 World Cup Junior. And there were about 6-7 players from North, from our catchment area. So practically speaking, we would have had the right to have them, including Virat. There was, sorry, Virat Kohli, Pradeep Sangwan, Tanmay Srivastava from UP. So these kids were exceptionally talented, even as junior cricketers. So the other franchise had issues with that. So finally they brought them into the auction and had a draft system. So that's how, that catchment area thing was, fell by the wayside. So now you can go anywhere and track them, but any kid who has to come in has to come through the auction. But they've put certain benchmarks, which is good in a manner, because even children generally are targeting only one thing is to play IPL. IPL is glamorous, it's good, it's done a lot of good for the youngsters, the cricketers to that extent. But finally, you got to perform. And Rishabh, I've seen him grow right in front of us in the sense how he's matured. Outstanding talent. Shreyas Iyer, the way he's shaped up, absolutely amazing. Prithvi Shaw again, phenomenal, exceptional talent. So now, how they take their chances? They've performed well. Rishabh has done well. Prithvi has done well. Shreyas has done well. They are definitely the future of cricket for sure. So talent is there, but it's all about that getting that opportunity. And when you get that opportunity, you got to make it count. So there's no dearth, Prashant. I don't know, even UAE, I'm sure you have a lot of talent there. But must be all expats. Eh?
Yes, absolutely. I think cricket has been played by expats here in UAE between Indian, Sri Lankans, Pakistanis. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. But absolutely, I think it's providing an opportunity for these youngsters to perform. And I guess you have led the way in having a young team in Delhi Capitals at the moment.
Yeah.
Wishing you a very best for the next season. We look forward to seeing them probably lift the next IPL trophy.
Yeah, that's something which has evaded us. In fact, we did struggle in between also. But finally, yes, it's always been a young team, and they've got the right mix now. And it's just a question of, how to make it count at that last hurdle. And there's, I don't know, what's the news there? Is it moving there? There's a lot of talk about it.
I think they're talking about UAE, having IPL in UAE.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I
the
Exactly.
countries earmarked, I suppose. I mean, UAE, Sri Lanka, as well as New Zealand have shown keen interest to host IPL.
Yeah, that's right. But proximity-wise and logistic-wise, UAE works out well. I must say they organized it very well a couple of years back when we came there.
UAE authorities also will be very keen, especially.
Yeah. I mean, I must say it was very well organized. Tickets could have been better, but then that's the problem, Obviously, when you shift something at a short notice, the wickets also need time to be looked after. So,
Yeah, the most of the wickets here are, of course, there are wickets which are the soil is got from Australia and England. But I think since UAE was a host for Pakistan and cricket was not held over there, so the
yeah,
wickets are mostly Pakistani based, which are aiding their spinners. So
yeah. So that's what the problem is, When you doctor those wickets, then that's the problem. It should be a good, in any case, for one day, you need a fair wicket, both to the bowlers and the batsmen. So otherwise it becomes a drag, But in any case, T20 there can't be much of wear and tear.
yeah, true. Thank you very much.
You take care. All the best. And
Thank you, Prashant sir. So we Go-Getters family extremely blessed to have Sunil sir here. So I'm pretty sure that the days are not so far. You will be scouting one of our guys to Delhi Daredevils. I'm pretty sure that our guys are working very well. So you will be here for scouting one of our guys. So then I would like to hand over Imran to deliver the vote of thanks. Imran? Imran, you here?
Hi everyone, myself
Hi,
Imran Ashraf.
Yes, I spoke to you.
First of all, I would like to thank Go-Getters Cricket Academy for giving us this opportunity. I would also like to thank Sir Sunil Valson for spending your valuable time with us. And I took this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Air Arabia and Canara Bank. And once again, I thank one and all who presented here. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you. And
thank you, sir.
Please take care and all the best.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you, Nisar, and wonderful interacting with the kids. Loved it.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate.
Yeah.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Sunil,
Bye.
thank you for joining.
Yep,
Sunil, thank you for joining.
My pleasure. Okay, bete. Bye. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Sunil, good session. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sunil, it was as good as watching that World Cup, the way you narrated.
Right. It was wonderful interacting with the kids.
Yeah.
So you take care and all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So
Okay,
kind.
bye.
Look forward to seeing you in Kannur. Bring your family.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.